Indian art evolved with an emphasis on inducing special spiritual or philosophical states in the audience, or with representing them symbolically. Rasa theory. Introduction of particular concern to Indian drama and literature. The term bhava, or the state of mind in rasa, referring generally to the emotional flavors, essence crafted into the work by the writer and relished by a sensitive spectator, or sadhya, or one with positive taste in mind. Rasas are created by bhavas. They are described by Bharata Muni in the Natyasastra, an ancient work of dramatic theory. Although the concept of rasa is fundamental to many forms of Indian art including dance, music, musical theatre, cinema and literature, the treatment, interpretation, usage and actual performance of a particular rasa differs greatly between different styles and schools of Abhinaya, and the huge regional differences even within one style. Experience of rasa. A rasa is the developed relishable state of a permanent mood, which is called sthayi bhava. This development towards a relishable state results by the interplay on it of attendant emotional conditions which are called vibhavas, anubhavas and sanchari, vyabhichari bhavas. The production of aesthetic rasa from bhavas is analogous to the production of tastes, juices of kinds from food with condiments, curries, pastes and spices. This is explained by the quote below. Vibhavas means karana or cause. It is of two kinds: alambana, the personal or human object and substratum, and udipana, the excitants. Anubhava, as the name signifies, means the ensuance or effects following the rise of the emotion. Vyabhichari bhavas are described later. Vedic concept. The Rishi Sreekanthv insists that the sources of knowledge, some of which are open and some hidden, they are to be sought and found by the seekers after truth. These sources are not available everywhere, anywhere and at all times. In this context, Rishi Agastya, stating thus, reminds the ardent seekers about the 6 kinds of rasa or taste which food has, but which all tastes cannot be found in one place or item, for these tastes are variously distributed throughout space. Food, in this context, means matter or objects or thoughts, which are all produced effects that are produced owing to various causes. The rasas are the unique qualities which bring about variety in things created whose source is one and one only. Lists of rasas. 8 primary rasas. Bharata Muni enunciated the 8 rasas in the Natyasastra, an ancient work of dramatic theory. Each rasa, according to Natyasastra, has a presiding deity and a specific color. There are 4 pairs of rasas. For instance, Hasya arises out of Sringara. The aura of a frightened person is black, and the aura of an angry person is red. Bharata Muni established the following. Rangaram, love, attractiveness. Presiding deity, Vishnu. Color, light green. Hasyam, laughter, mirth, comedy. Presiding deity, Pramita. Color, white. Raudram, fury. Presiding deity, Rudra. Color, red. Karanyam, compassion, mercy. Presiding deity, Yama. Color, gray. Bibhatsam, disgust, aversion. Presiding deity, Shiva. Color, blue. Bhayanakam, horror, terror. Presiding deity, Kala Ratri. Color, black. Viram, heroic mood. Presiding deity, Indra. Color, yellowish. Adbhutam, wonder, amazement. Presiding deity, Brahma. Color, yellow. Antam rasa. A 9th rasa was added by later authors. This addition had to undergo a good deal of struggle between the 6th and the 10th centuries, before it could be accepted by the majority of the Alankari caste, and the expression Navarasa could come into vogue. Antam, peace or tranquility. Deity, Vishnu. Color, perpetual white. Shanta rasa functions as an equal member of the set of rasas but is simultaneously distinct, being the most clear form of aesthetic bliss. Abhinavagupta likens it to the string of a jeweled necklace. While it may not be the most appealing for most people, it is the string that gives form to the necklace, allowing the jewels of the other 8 rasas to be relished. Other additions: in addition to the 9 rasas, 2 more appeared later. Additional rasas: Vatsalya, parental love; Bhakti, spiritual devotion. However, the presiding deities, the colors and the relationship between these additional rasas have not been specified. List of bhavas. According to the Natya Shastra, bhavas are of 3 types: sthayi, sanchari, sattvika, based on how they have developed or enacted during the aesthetic experience. This is seen in the following passage. Some bhavas are also described as being anubhava if they arise from some other bhava. Sthayi. The Natya Shastra lists 8 bhavas with 8 corresponding rasas: rati, hasya, soka, krodha, utsaha, bhaya, jugupsa, vismaya. This list is from the following passage. Sanchari bhavas are those crossing feelings which are ancillary to a permanent mood. A list of 33 bhavas are identified therein. Sattvika. The Sattvika bhavas themselves are listed below. These are explained by Bharata and Danika as below. Thus, physical expression of the feelings of the mind are called sattvika rasas in the performing arts. The theory of rasas still forms the aesthetic underpinning of all Indian classical dance and theatre, such as Bharatanatyam, Kathak, Kuchipudi, Odissi, Manipuri, Kudiyattam, Kathakali and others. Expressing rasa in classical Indian dance form is referred to as rasa abhinaya. The Natya Shastra carefully delineates the bhavas used to create each rasa. The expressions used in Kudiyattam or Kathakali are extremely exaggerated theatrical expressions. The opposite of this interpretation is Balasaraswati's school of subtle and understated abhinaya of the Devadasis. There were serious public debates when Balasaraswati condemned Rukmini Devi's puritanistic interpretations and applications of Sringara rasa. The abhinaya of the Melator style of abhinaya remains extremely rich in variations of the emotions, while the Pandanur style expressions are more limited in scope. History. Natya Shastra rasa theory blossoms beginning with the Sanskrit text Natya Shastra, a work attributed to Bharata Muni where the gods declare that drama is the 5th Veda, because it is suitable for the degenerate age as the best form of religious instruction. The Natya Shastra presents the aesthetic concepts of rasas and their associated bhavas in chapters 6 and 7 respectively, which appear to be independent of the work as a whole. 8 rasas and associated bhavas are named and their enjoyment is likened to savoring a meal. Rasa is the enjoyment of flavors that arise from the proper preparation of ingredients and the quality of ingredients. Kashmiri aestheticians. The theory of the rasas develops significantly with the Kashmiri aesthetician Andanavardhana's classic on poetics, the Devanyaloka, which introduces the 9th rasa, Shanta rasa, as a specifically religious feeling of peace which arises from its bhava, weariness of the pleasures of the world. The primary purpose of this text is to refine the literary concept Dhyvani or poetic suggestion, by arguing for the existence of rasa Dhyvani, primarily in forms of Sanskrit including a word, sentence or whole work, suggests a real-world emotional state or bhava. But thanks to aesthetic distance, the sensitive spectator relishes the rasa, the aesthetic flavor of tragedy, heroism or romance. The 9th–10th century master of the religious system known as the non-dual Shaivism of Kashmir and aesthetician Abhinavagupta brought rasa theory to its pinnacle in his separate commentaries on the Devanyaloka, the Devanyaloka Lokana and the Abhinava Bharati. His commentary on the Natya Shastra, portions of which are translated by Nolian Masan and Patwardhan. Abhinavagupta offers for the first time a technical definition of rasa, which is the universal bliss of the self or Atman colored by the emotional tone of a drama. Inclusion of bhakti in the literary compositions. The emotion of bhakti as a feeling of adoration towards God was long considered only a minor feeling fit only for stothras. but not capable of being developed into a separate rasa as the sole theme of a whole poem or drama. In the 10th century, it was still struggling, and Acharya Abhinavagupta mentions Bhakti in his commentary on the Natya Shastra, as an important accessory sentiment of the Shanta rasa, which he strove with great effort to establish. However, just as Shanta slowly attained a state of primacy that it was considered the rasa of rasas, Bhakti also soon began to loom large and, despite the lukewarmness of the great run of Alankari Kash, had the service of some distinguished advocates, including Tyagaraja. It is the Bhagavata that gave the great impetus to the study of Bhakti from an increasingly aesthetic point of view. Attention to rasas. Poets like Kalidasa were attentive to rasa, which blossomed into a fully developed aesthetic system. Even in contemporary India, the term rasa, denoting flavor or essence, is used colloquially to describe the aesthetic experiences in films,